Hey guys, Connor coming to you from the World Divide. Today is December 12th of 2022. And I just want to give a little bit more of an update on the situation between Serbia and Kosovo. I did a video yesterday kind of highlighting a few things that had happened, but since then I've received more information. I've gotten more of a complete picture. And today I don't really want to talk. I do want to gloss over kind of the situation and what's kind of happened there. But what I also want to talk about is, will there be a conflict between Serbia and Kosovo? And that's the important question that I want to try to see if I can theorize and answer um, now. But first, I just want to give a brief overview of the region itself. Serbia, Kosovo used to be part of a much larger nation that ended up being the remnant of an even larger nation post World War II, the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And what came out of this was a region or a country called Yugoslavia. Um, it was ruled with an iron grip by an authoritarian leader, um, controlling many different ethnic groups with a Serbian overwhelming majority, and the Serbs often made a lot of the political decisions, economic decisions for the country. That leader died around the 1990s, and what followed was a period of serious instability, collapse, and Yugoslavia dissolved into war, with the Serbs basically fighting everyone else. And then NATO, um, which is kind of supposed to be a defensive power, went on the offensive, and they sided against the Serbs. Took out their energy infrastructure, took out all their bridges. They basically did back then what the Russians are doing now to Ukraine. Now we have a situation where um, there are tensions between Serbia and a breakaway, not really 100% recognized region of Kosovo. Um, and the reason for that is, one, Serbia would absolutely love that region back. It's kind of their religious, a lot of their monuments, their relics, their most valued historic architecture prestige is located within Kosovo, located within the city of Pristina itself. Another thing to note, there is a NATO presence within Kosovo. There's a large U.S. military base just southeast of Pristina. It's one of the largest military bases in Europe. It's freaking massive. So if Serbia were to go to war with Kosovo, they would have to deal with us. They would have to deal with NATO and a force that would be able to quickly respond at any given moment. Um, but what you also have in Kosovo is you have mostly an Albanian ethnic majority, which is the reason you had Kosovo end up breaking away in the first place, because of that ethnic majority. But you also, in one of the southern regions in Kosovo, you have a Serbian majority. And then particularly in the north, you have two regions. Medohija is the main city or town that with the largest concentration of Serbian civilians. But there's two northern regions up in Kosovo that are in particular Serb dominant. So what we've seen happen in the last couple days is, and this has kind of been going on, is the locals within these regions claim that they're being treated as second-class citizens, that their rights are being taken away, that they're being forced to conform and give up their Serbian heritage. And what we've had in recent days is Kosovo police and military move up within these regions. They close the checkpoints to not allow any more Serbians to cross the border. Civilians within these regions built up barricades to block Kosovo forces from entering particular towns. The Serbian military is now on the border with Kosovo, and There have been a few small, relatively small skirmishes, a couple, like, here and there firefights, just small scale, little border clashes. Um, so, in this situation, it appears like the leader of Serbia wants to take the negotiating path. Actually, I think everyone wants to kind of take the negotiating path. No one wants another war in Europe right now. No, it would be awful. Um, and another thing too is Serbia can't afford a war against Kosovo because of the NATO factor, and because Russia is so isolated. Russia is a avid supporter of Serbia. Russia won't be able to swoop in and help, nor will they want to. Their resources and efforts are focused on more important things at the moment. The Russia-Ukraine war being one of them, but also just defending its massive freaking border. But what we're seeing now is certainly unrest within these regions in Kosovo. And I see one of two things happening. And first, I want to discount the fact I do not believe Serbia will invade Kosovo because of that NATO factor. I want to state that very clearly. Just because I think Serbia does not have idiotic leadership. They know what the cost would be if they were to invade. And I think they want a peaceful settlement. And if they had the chance, if NATO wasn't a factor, they would absolutely invade Kosovo. Absolutely. So I see one of two things actually happening. One, they're able to come to a peaceful negotiation. Kosovo agrees to concede and give the Serbian locals more rights, more liberties, more freedoms within the region. Or two, the Serb population within Kosovo starts an insurrection and rises up. Now, this complicates the situation with NATO a lot more, because it's a lot simpler if Serbia is invading, because NATO has a clear enemy that they can attack. But if it's the local population deciding to rise up, that complicates their narrative quite a bit more. And I'm very unsure on how they would react, how we would react, or if we would engage at all. And I think in that case, we would see a similar situation to what happened in Ukraine in 2014, where you had the breakaway regions in Donbass and Russia being a silent sponsor of those regions. I think we would see a similar situation with these two breakaway regions having Serbia as a silent sponsor, helping their Serbian brethren in these northern regions. And that's what we don't want to happen. That's what we don't want to happen. The Baltic region is very unstable, it's insecure, there's many ethnic groups, many clashes, many wars have been fought here. And this region's often been a crossroads for great powers to clash with each other as well. So that's the situation we're dealing with at hand. But as far as conflict in Serbia and Kosovo, I'm going to say that it's unlikely. And I hope that's the case, but we'll see. We'll watch the situation, and I'll continue giving updates as they come. Alright, thank you guys. See you on the flip side.